When West Side Story debuted on Broadway, it took the world by storm. This modern-day retelling of Romeo and Juliet proved to be a huge hit with audiences and critics alike, and remains that way to this day, with a very popular revival running as strong as ever. So of course, it was only a matter of time before Hollywood got their hands on it, producing a movie that proved no less popular than the stage show it was based on. And while it hasn't aged as well as other films from that same era, due to some unusual casting choices, as well as the world falling unjustly out of love with a movie musical, it is still a very good movie with themes that are just as present and relevant today as they were then. And I'm happy to say that if you can't afford to see it live, this movie can actually serve as a suitable substitute. The story follows two gangs in New York. The Jets, led by the immature but charismatic Riff, are a bunch of New York kids with a collective chip on their shoulder, while the Sharks, led by the terminally sexy Bernardo, are mostly fresh off the boat from Puerto Rico. No one's very happy about that. The Jets are used to having the streets to themselves, and the Sharks aren't pleased by the reception they've been given by the so-called land of opportunity. They're just trying to get by, but if any of them go outside, they've got a tail. Sometimes two, or three, none of whom seem all that friendly. Just when tensions are rising faster than ever, and an all-out war between the two gangs seems inevitable, something happened. A Jet named Tony falls in love with Bernardo's sister, Maria. And this is where our story truly begins. While the Jets are mostly interchangeable, Russ Tamblyn gives a memorably snarky turn as their leader Riff, but it's George Chakiris who really steals the show as Bernardo. He has an air of confidence and authority, but stays just as snide as the Jets. He's very sensual with his lover Anita, played by Rita Moreno, and through their expertly written banter we get a feel for both of them as characters. This back and forth eventually builds into one of the catchiest, funniest, and most poignant songs you've ever heard, I Want to Be in America. The song contrasts the American dream against the harsh reality they came to face, but despite its somber theme, there's never a somber note. The original production only had the girls performing this piece, but bringing in the men serves to tie this together with the already present banter, and brings the entire gang in for this scene, doing absolute marvels for the song as a whole. The dancing is breathtaking, especially from Chakiris and Moreno, both winning well-deserved Oscars for this film, and the song itself is going to be stuck in your head for days to come. Sadly, it can't be all roses. As previously stated, the casting is unusual. Some of the extras are downright embarrassing with noticeably fake tans, and although Natalie Wood plays Maria well enough, she's about as Puerto Rican as I am. The only thing distinguishing her from the Jet girls is her heavy and somewhat spotty accent. Still though, Marni Nixon, whose singing voice served as a substitute for Wood's, gave one of the best performances of her not inconsiderable career. Say what you will about dubbing in musicals, but at least it makes for a damn good soundtrack. The film's flaws can easily be chalked up to it being a product of its time, but if you can look past them, West Side Story is still an incredible movie, with great acting and marvelous singing to accompany the spectacular score. The cast makes full use of the medium to present these scenes on a greater scale than any stage could offer, especially Tonight, which featured every single character in the film getting their own moment in the spotlight. With Tony-winning music and lyrics by Leonard Bernstein and Stephen Sondheim respectively, Oscar-winning direction by Robert Weiss, and a cast of powerful dancers and performers, West Side Story is a classic movie musical that has earned its place in history with no less than 10 Academy Awards, including Best Picture. If you haven't seen it by now, then you're in for one hell of a treat. I give West Side Story a damn solid 4 out of 5.